Good morning, Chris Allen here, week 6 update. This week in AP Calculus AB, we will continue looking at differential equations. Last week we started that process. This week we will continue. So here we can see an example of a differential equation, and then the way we undo the differentiation is integration. Calc BC, we have just had our test on convergence of infinite series. And so now we're working with Taylor polynomials, and then this week we'll even get into power series. So here's kind of one of the formulas from last week, which deals with the remainder of a Taylor polynomial. And last but not least, in geometry, and that should say geometry A, that says geometry B, but that should be geometry A. We are looking at deductive and inductive reasoning, and we will specifically tomorrow we'll be looking at postulates and key theorems of geometry, and even some algebra type of things. Like, so here's an example of a proof of an algebraic equation solution. All right, some final thoughts here. So I got an image here trying to put on the fact that schooling is more of a marathon than a sprint. So I'll explain that maybe a little bit more. First, let me mention reassessment. So we had some tests last week. If your son or daughter did not do well and they would like, they can reassess. They just need to set that time up with me. Typically what they would do is sign out of their advisory and let me know which thing they're going to reassess, whether that's a quiz or a test. So right now it'd probably be a test for many of them if they're interested. Discipline, so this kind of comes back to that whole marathon thing. So when you're running a marathon, and I've never done a marathon, I've done so many marathons, my point is that it takes a lot of preparation, at least it would for me, and I think most people would require some preparation, and that requires discipline to get out and start running early on in the process to get yourself ramped up and ready for the big race. And that's what I kind of liken calculus and geometry is you kind of have to put in the work, and you got to put in the work regularly. You got to be asking questions, seeking help and things like that. Last week I offered to stay after school twice, and I didn't have a single student show up. So, and I understand people got things going on after work, or after school, after work for me. So anyways, so something to think about maybe. Good news is we got a 3-day weekend this weekend, so that'll be a nice break for students and teachers maybe. So hope you have a great week. Thank you.